السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Any leftover questions? Can we make a dua for the person who commits suicide? Yes, you can. So the question is, if somebody continues to eat after the Fajr Adhan started to call, and the answer is no, unless he wants to break his fast for the day. But if he wants to be fasting, he needs to stop as soon as the Adhan is called. Yes. So the question was, would you break down for us the word Iman in Arabic? What is the root and what it actually means? And I asked him to give us the answer. And he said the right answer, which is that Iman comes from Amina, Amn, which means safety and security. That correct? Did I understand you correctly? Okay, so yes. After Adhan al-Fajr, meaning when you are fasting. So, nasal spray. Does nasal spray break the fast? If it fills into your throat and gets into your stomach, it does. But some scholars say, no, it does not. So there is some allowance there, I believe. Let me see if I understood your question. You're asking if a person prayed Isha in Jama'ah, prayed Fajr in Jama'ah, then the question is, did he attend the Tahajjud prayer? In his reward, it will be as if he has stayed up praying the whole night. Because there is a hadith, من صلى العشاء في جماعة والفجر في جماعة فكأنما قام الليل كله. It is as if he has prayed the whole night. Definitely, the person who prays Fajr in Jama'ah and Isha in Jama'ah and Fajr in Jama'ah and prays the whole night, he is actually done it. But the other one, it is like if he has done it. In terms, so this is a promotion kind of statement. This is a promotion. Okay? Yes. So if there is a cut in your mouth and inadvertently you swallowed some blood, no, that is inadvertent. If it is inadvertent, it does not break your fast. But if it is too much, or that would be blood sucking, man. No, I'm talking about inadvertently, like you swallowed some because you didn't control it in the beginning, but you don't stay the night or the day, sucking your own blood. So if it is little, if it is inadvertent, it does not break your fast. Otherwise, it does. Yes. So the question is, if I do the Isha in Jama'ah and the Fajr in Jama'ah, but both I do it at home with my family or friends, then does this mean that I stayed the whole night praying? Well, the hadith is talking about Jama'atul Masjid, the Masjid Jama'ah, not the secondary Jama'ah that you do anywhere else. Okay? Anyone else? Yes. Yeah, the question is about Sajdatul Tilawa. If I'm reciting the Quran and I come across a sajda in the Quran and I make sujood, can I make dua? Yes, you can. Extra or essential or primary or secondary, you can make dua. Yes, yes. Well, the question is, the Prophet ﷺ says that when you lead the prayer for Jama'ah, then you should make the prayer short in a way so that people who are sick or elderly are not getting into fatigue point, right? Then he's building on this and he's saying, since we shorten the fard, right, why do we make so long of a dua when we are making the dua in the watr? Well, this is the end, the question, right? Okay. First of all, we are instructed to make the fard prayer definitely much shorter than the night prayer, because the night prayer is a sunnah, which means it's voluntary. If you can make it, join. If you cannot make it and you can only sit down, sit down. If you want to be even laying on your side and want to do it, if you cannot sit down, do it. But the point here is Salatul Nafilah Sunnah. Sunnah means what? You're doing it out of your own volition. It's voluntary. So it is not subject to the same rules as the Fard prayer. So in the Fard prayer, we read shorter surahs and we read reasonable surahs. And if we read, we do not take it for as extensive as we do in the Taraweeh or in the Tahajjud. Salat al-Tahajjud and Salat al-Taraweeh are longer because this is the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aisha, the wife of the Prophet radiallahu anha wardaha, she used to say, when the Prophet ﷺ prayed, sometimes he prays only 2 rak'ah at night. But 2 rak'ah are really 2 long rak'ah. He would read the entire Surah Al-Baqarah, the entire Surah Al-Imran, almost the entire Surah Al-Nisa, right? And then he would make ruku'ah. I'm not talking about 2 rak'ah, I'm talking about 1 rak'ah. So she describes it and says, فَلَا تَسْأَلَنَّ عَنْ حُسْنِهِنَّ وَطُولِهِنَّ 2 rak'ah, don't ask about the beauty they carry and they bring, and the felicity and the ease and the pleasure they bring. Okay? So Salatul Layl is known to be longer, much longer it should be, than Salat al-Fard. Okay? And with that comes, within this territory, if you will, it comes the dua that you do. The dua that you do in any other day, short, brief, and to the point, which means you have some issue, you want to make dua, some people are suffering, you want to pray for them, there is a calamity somewhere, you want to pray for people, yeah, do it. When it comes to making dua after Salat al-Layl, which is itself very long, a long dua is not inappropriate at all. A long dua goes with the idea that the prayer itself is quite long. Okay? Besides, the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah loves the dua in which the person praying is insistent. He is yulihu fi dua. He is really going back and forth, repeating the same prayer, asking for the same thing, praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the dua that we do after tahajjud or after qiyam al-layl or after taraweeh, if we do, it goes with the context that it can be long. You mean, can somebody fast the 6 days of Shawwal at the same time making up of the days that they miss? What do you mean by making them together? Fast 1 day and get 1 for free? Since you like the joke, I would like to rent from your place. If you have a place for rent, I would like to rent. And I would like to borrow money from you also. So if the place you're renting is for 1,000 and I borrow 4,000 from you, I would like to pay 4 months and return the loan at the same time. You can fast during the month of Shawwal and make up the days you missed first, or make the 6 days first. But you don't do 1 and count it for 2. After all, you're not going to count it. It's him. So your intention has to be clear. I know that Allah is generous more than we think, right? But you cannot pray 4 rak'ah sunnat zuhr and say, I will count those for Asr. We don't think this way. Asr is different, and for Sunnah for Zuhr is different, right? And if you pray Sunnah for Asr, right, 4 rak'ah before, you cannot say, I will count this as my fard after you finish. So the niyyah matters. Who's raised his hand? Saddam. Sajdatul Tilawa, do we have to face the Qibla? The Jumhur of scholars says yes. Yes, you have to face the Qibla when you make Sajdatul Tilawa. Any other question? My time and your time is up.